Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So, since the last video and this video, I have done quite a bit. I've been mainly working on the Steve Carts thing, getting ready to make a Steve Carts tree farm. I've also been doing various pieces of the LV quest, most notably the Nature's Compass in order to find certain biomes, and I apologize for the extra talkative lovebirds in the background. I made the chemical bath, which is one of the things I needed for the Steve's Carts setup. I also went through and went ahead and completed the cobalt brass and the blade. I made 6 of them. That way I'd have the 5 for the cutter for the Steve's Carts and the one that will be used for that cutting machine. So here I am. I've kind of laid out a bamboo line of kind of where I want this base to be. I'm doing a little bit better about keeping pollution and the pollution power and whatnot out of the way of the farm. The farm is planned for over here. The main house for now here. The portals I actually started here, even though I initially thought about putting the portals over here just so that they'd be nearby. And then the tree farm back in this area to feed 24 coke ovens that we've already prepped, and then eventually enough steam boilers to make use of all of those coke ovens. With 24 coke ovens, you can run a max-sized low-pressure railcraft boiler, a max-sized liquid boiler, so a max-sized solid and liquid, and then you have enough charcoal left over that you can actually make a 2x2x3. That's a 2x2 3-high solid fuel boiler with the leftover charcoal. Oops, it is getting dark, so let's correct that. But today is moving day, and so the primary thing that we'll be focused on is using this nether portal to get from this base all the way back up to the primary base, back and forth, and showing a little bit of tips and tricks for how to get back and forth between your bases quickly, mainly using nether portals, and then otherwise using things like dollies and backpacks and whatnot so that you can quickly move a lot of material around. So I'll be back once I'm back on the other side of the base, and we'll make our first trip. Alright, I am back at base, and as you can see here, I've got a number of storage drawers as well as some of the better barrels. Now, I prefer storage drawers if I'm going to be moving versus the better barrels, simply because the better barrels, I don't know if they have an easy way to pick them up with everything that's in them. At least with the storage drawers, you can make packing tape. Now, packing tape will use a little bit of the refined glue that you get by centrifuging your raw resin in order to make the raw rubber in order for your chemical reactor to work, and then it just takes a little bit of paper and the same one programmed circuit that you would be using in your bending machine. So that is nice to bundle up these guys. I am about to make 2 of them probably. Generally speaking, though, if you notice, I don't have a whole lot of very many of these guys. Now, for a lot of these things where you're seeing 32, 52, 71, etc., you're not seeing a whole lot of material. What I would do is I would gather up everything that you have inside of something like a gold chest, and just slap it in there. Now, with these guys, like having 136, that's already going to be quite a few different things. And again, sorry about the lovebirds. They were quiet until I started talking and recording. So, but like this right here, the coal, 430 coal, that's going to take up more than the 1 slot it would take to put packing tape on this guy, pull it out, and stick it into a gold chest and run it over to the other one. So that's my preference, is to gather up a bunch of stuff, throw it into a big chest, and then use the dolly in order to pick up that big chest and run it through. So I'm going to take another quick break real quick and make a couple of the packing tapes and get some of this stuff gathered up and ready and put into here, and then make a run through the nether over to the new base. So I'll be back in just a bit. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and knock out these storage drawers that are here on the wall that are empty already, because those I can just grab a hold of. And as you can see in my inventory, in the toolbar, or in my hotbar down there, I already have some of the packing tape. Packing tape, it's got a limited number of uses, but I can just come along and slap this onto, let's see here, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. So you can get 9 uses out of this thing. So I'm going to finish these guys up. And I probably should have filled these guys up a little bit more before I just broke them all. Now the interesting thing is these guys will not stack. So while you're cutting them down and putting them into your inventory, that's actually a good thing that they don't stack. Otherwise you'd probably have item duplication. And then just take and toss them into something like the gold chest. And then once you've gathered them all up, what we can do is use that dolly in order to pick up the entire the entire chest full of stuff and use it to make one of your trips. Sorry. So one of the things I don't have built that helps make this immeasurably easier is following along with the quest lines. And the reason I haven't is because I just don't have enough materials yet. You can see right now I've got 32 leather, and I've got another 19 up here. That's plenty of leather if I wanted to follow along with this quest that is right here. Where can I put, or what can I put these items in? I already have steel, so making the steel ring, the woven cotton. It takes 5 of the tanned leather, and I'm currently trying to save up all of the leather in order to take care of this portion of the animal farm, getting this 100 leather that goes along with the raw beef to try and get to this unstable induced mattock. And so that's why I am doing most of this manually. You'll see my inventory is pretty full with a lot of junk. Let's see here. The storage drawers are picked up, so I can throw some extra stuff in there. And that way I can pick up a few other extra things here like that. And then grab a couple more things here like this. Actually, I'm going to put one of those away. And shoot, I forgot, my buddy who is also on the server, who's clearing out land right now, has, sorry, crazy birds, has my, my pick right now. I gave it to him before I left. So we'll just make this run real quick here with the gold dolly there. But essentially what I did was I scouted first. I went from here and using that compass found this guy, made a nether portal here and another portal here. And as you will see when I enter into the nether, I have a stairwell that leads up to level 120 in the nether, which it's not guaranteed that you'll never have a cave that reaches up that high, but it is vastly easier to move stuff along the roof of the nether. It also facilitates finding certain ores. The 120 down helps to find, I believe it's tetrahedrite and, no, not sulfur. But you'll hear pigment and stuff that are on the other side of these walls. I died 10 times making this thing, and there you can see I've got a lovely wolf. There we go. Not too much spawns in here. Being a one wide spot doesn't allow the spawn stuff to spawn stuff in here very often, which makes it very nice. But if you don't have like piston boots or something with step assist, you're going to be jumping a lot. But in any case, once I make it all the way up here, I have another tunnel. So what I did is I used the waypoints and marked it. And as you can see, because I'm playing on a server, I don't actually get a nice mini-map. My mini-map is with the, what is it, the server free play, maybe it's the grief, anyway, fair play, maybe that's the one. And so I don't have a map, but you can still use waypoints. So I've marked waypoints, and you can see I've got two things marked for 120 down and another 120 down that's over here by home 2. So essentially what I have is a single path that has run along, and I just follow that along. I've marked it with torches so that I can easily get back and forth without having to try and remember the way. It's also useful for my friends when we're sharing a base where I have the waypoints marked because I've mapped this, and they have to manually run there themselves unless they decide to set up the waypoints as a marker. And so just walking along, it's not too terribly far once you have it in the nether. You can see 2,000 blocks amounts to something like, you know, what is that? 2,000 blocks divided by 8, I think it is. And you end up with a much smaller number. Let's see here. I'm 82 meters from there. Home's 107 there. So, yeah, not too bad. Probably about 200 blocks or so, maybe 250 blocks total between the two bases instead of that 2,000. And so what I can do is just come along here. I ran out of torches when I was placing them, but I placed one all the way at the far end. So even if I didn't have the marker, which like I say, my friends don't, then I can easily find my way over here. If I had something like the hunger axe, I would probably be holding onto it and sprinting this whole way. Anything with any kind of move speed would be very helpful, simply because you'd be able to move quite a bit faster, even carrying the dolly. But here is my 120 down, and when I started this portal, I then built a path up to 120. It's vastly easier to build a stairwell up, just being careful of stuff like lava, than it is to try and build down, where you could fall to your death like I've done several times hunting for ores. So here we are at home 2, and it'll pop through. And here we are in my nice lovely little nether portal that I have built. I've built it out one side, blocked off the back, and I don't know if I have it in my inventory still or if I put it away somewhere, but I have some specter glass and some punji sticks that I will use to guard that with. And so here we are. Up here is the nice flat area that we are starting to build out and call home. So I will stick that there. There we go. And then I'm going to leave these in here for now. Normally I would pull them out, especially if I already had something started, but at least for right now, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to get my pick from my buddy, and I'm going to start moving over these chests so that we can actually have the start of our base. But yeah, you can see here, this is the idea for the new base. Tree farm, coke ovens, boiler. I put pollution power here because basically I want to keep all of my pollution over here and away from the tree farm, or not the tree farm, the farm that will be doing the IC2 crops. I'm going to build a tower up to 120 just as I did in the last one, and I'm going to build basically a giant circle out of this 3x3 chunk where I can start to put all of the crops in the largest size forestry farm up here, and then start doing other stuff like the, you know, getting the main house and all that stuff set up. So, gonna have lots of fun. Oh, let's do this real quick. And there we go. Done. So there we are, back to daylight. And that way I can keep on going with this. So we shall see you all in a bit as I get stuff prepped for this base. So it took a couple more trips. Let's see here. I think I brought back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it took me 6 trips, bringing back one of these each time, and then bringing over a bunch of stuff just in my inventory that I could fit in, that I've put in to each of these chests. As you can see, they are currently dire chests. They are just whatever, all over the place, no organization whatsoever. And then my buddy went ahead and was working on getting the ground set up so that we can have a nice flat area for the base. If we pull it up, essentially he's got some stairs there. There's the portal out, and then just going to flatten and level this area, and then we'll see what we do with this back here. He's already started flattening it, as you can see, so we may flatten the whole dang thing, not sure yet, but in any case, for the most part we are moved across. There is still miscellaneous stuff that needs to be brought over and stuff that will need to be set up. Namely, I don't know that I will probably plant some of the rubber trees just so that as we run around we can still have those grow until we get to growing some stickweed. So that is on the list of stuff to do. Oh, I haven't brought over my to-do list yet. So I will be adding to that. It looks like for the most part we got a nice big flat area back here. With the Steve's cart almost done, I'll need to make another trip back to the base to have a look at the Steve's cart. It was being built in the assembler, and I think I ran out of the coal. So I'm gonna take about a stack of that back with me just to make sure that it finishes up, and then once it's done, just the track is left and I can start a Steve's cart farm right back here. I'm definitely going to be flattening out this entire section here. This may or may not get flattened out, but this 3x3 here is definitely getting flattened, and that is so that we can have the tree farm that runs back and forth, sent to the coke ovens and then sent to the steam boilers, and from there we can start pumping out power. I did mark this one. What is that one? That is really hard to read. I think that says steam turbines. So the steam turbines I was looking at going here into this section of the house with starting with the LV wall and then starting to expand out. We have one whole oil well here, so I'm probably going to climb up the mountain and jump off and try and circle around with the glider and get a better view of what's around, because hopefully there's more than just this one right here nearby, because as you can see, the area that we traveled down, the other oil is all the way back up here near this kind of mesa-ish and the desert biomes. So yeah, lots of work ahead. I'm going to go ahead and call this video here. By the time you guys see again, we should have the tree farm up and running. We'll probably have some kind of base built here. And then maybe even starting the pillar up that will run up and put a tower here. The idea is that I want to put my crop tower here, and then underneath it I'm actually going to stick my magic. So looking at you know, a BM altar, the Thaumcraft infusion altar, some of the Thaumcraft stuff, all of that stuff being right underneath the crop thing as part of a nice big tower build. So that is for the future. Right now I am pretty much going to try and finish off what my buddy was working on here. If I can get that all lopped off and then torched up, and then I can start looking at one of the other things I was looking at doing was breaking open the Pam's these things here, the Pam's gardens, and trying to collect up the materials, because if I have a look really quick before we sign off, to grind or not to grind. We've done all of the gardens except the nether garden. We've done the firm tofu, and now it's time to start in on getting these guys knocked out. And in the meantime, I'll also be hunting down a bunch of cows and trying to finish off that section of the quest. The other stuff is real easy to get from the animal farms, so I'll probably stick to that. Shears for the sheep wool, but the mutton and stuff can come from that, and that way we can knock out the rest of those quests and take care of that hunger axe, wherever it may be. There it is. And get, or sorry, not hunger axe, that induced mattock, which works wonders in an Ender IO farm, tree farm. So yeah, working our way there. Anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video where hopefully we will have a nice base set up. We'll see you then.